Hello and welcome, adventurers. I'm Mary, and in this video, I'll be going over the history and story of the Copperbell mines. This video is part of a series covering the dungeons of Final Fantasy XIV, so let's get ready to rock. Over 300 years ago, during the reign of the Thorn Dynasty in Ul'dah, a tribe of Gigants called the Hecatoncheires were enslaved via enchanted helmets and forced to work in their mining efforts. In 1272, something caused the enchantments to break, and the Hecatoncheires turned on their masters. Baldric Thorn, the leader of Ul'dah at the time, gave the order to collapse the mines with the Gigants still inside, in the hopes it would kill the mutinous slaves. The order was carried out, and no Gigants emerged from the rubble. With Ul'dah saved from a rampage of their own making, the Copperbell mines were abandoned, not knowing that the Hecatoncheires survived. In 1.0, Copperbell Mines was accessed from a tunnel under Camp Nofika's wells. In the years following its abandonment, Antlings had taken up residence of the once profitable mine shafts. In one section of the mines, a tunnel seems to have accidentally breached a section of the ancient Sildi aqueducts. This tunnel was blocked off from adventurers by a strange webbing, making the aqueducts inaccessible. Perhaps this was the work of the local sect of the Lamps of Dalamud, who used the area for their sacrificial needs. In the aftermath of the 7th Umbral Calamity, Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern sought to reclaim Copperbell Mines. With the city-state in desperate need of resources, the hope was to find some previously undiscovered mineral veins. However, they dug a bit too deep and freed the Hecatoncheires from their subterranean prison. 300 years of being trapped only stoked their flames of hatred towards those they saw as their former masters. Emboldened by their new freedom, they began attacking anyone they came across, making mining impossible. Once again, Ul'dah was facing the righteous anger of the Gigant clan. Our young warrior of light arrives at the quicksands after the events of Tamtara Deepcroft, and hears about the plight of Copperbell Mines from Papashan, a former member of the Sultan Sworn. We accept the job. And after getting more details from an Amagina and Sons employee named Painted Mesa, we set off for Western Thanalan. At the entrance, we come across a somber Aliane and Ilsidor. They describe the grisly sight of Dolores Bear and his party, murdered by the Gigants. Aliane explains that it seems they attempted to rush a group of Hecatoncheires in a bid for glory and paid for their recklessness with their lives. She implores us not to work single-mindedly toward our goals, advice that should be heeded, regardless of experience level. The Sultan Sworn at the gate let us through, and we enter the mines. As of patch 6.1, the Copperbell mines received a bit of a facelift. The first thing a returning veteran would notice is the difference in lighting. The current version of Copperbell Mines is considerably darker when compared to its previous version, giving it more of an abandoned feel. The progression is the same for the most part. You still need to reappropriate tiny keys to open the sealed blast doors. Rubble still needs to be cleared in order to continue. However, the placement of one of the fire sands has been moved to avoid possible backtracking. The hackathon shares burst through the walls of the mines, alert to your presence. The first boss, Kodos, has traded in his waves of Spriggans and bombs for actual mechanics. The second and most headache-inducing boss, Icarus Ire, is drastically different. In his previous incarnation, Icarus Ire was one of the most annoying encounters in the game. This gelatinous fiend once boasted a whopping 941,060 combined HP across its 15 forms. The only way to kill it was to blow it up into more bite-sized chunks. In the current encounter, depleting enough HP causes it to use a move called Divide, which spawns non-targetable small slimes that explode, at a cost to Icarus Ire's size. This is a much easier fight to manage in what's supposed to be a newbie dungeon, if lacking in pyrotechnics. The final boss, Gygus the Great, challenges the party with the proclamation that his people are slaves no more. During the previous version, Gygus attempted to free more of his clansmen to join in on the fight, concentrating more on breaking the walls than the ones attacking him. Now, Gygus figures he can handle you himself and shows off some new attacks he learned. Our Warrior of Light is eventually victorious and savors a bittersweet victory. An interesting thing to note is the large set of metal doors at the end of the chamber. At the top of the doors is a carving of a scale with a helm on the left scale and a fruit on the right. This is the sigil for ancient Sildi, but it is currently unknown what lies beyond these doors. Hopefully, someday, we'll find the answer. Upon our return to the quicksand, Momodi praises our victory over the Gigants and says there's a woman nearby who wishes to speak with us. It's Edda, and she tells us of her ill-fated party leader, Aver. They were engaged to be married, and she says Aver thought very highly of our young Warrior of Light and swore he would be like us one day. Edda confesses that she thought about giving up adventuring after Aver's death, but sees us as an inspiration to keep going. She vows to go back to her birth village and begin her training over, but not before asking us our name and thanking us. What a nice girl. I hope she finds someone to settle down with. Maybe she'll invite us to her wedding. So, what are your thoughts on Copperbell Mines? Do you have any interesting or funny stories to share? Let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. I also stream on Twitch. Link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, adventurers, remember, you matter, and may you ever walk in the light.